Ladies and gentlemen, to salute our fans from the North Country, and here to deliver this afternoon's Canadian anthem, Ashley Cootwell.
I need the microphone, not the paper. Thanks. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Ashley Cootwell. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing to honor this great country in which we reside, to salute our troops past and present, which have allowed us to stand here in freedom this very afternoon to pay tribute to the greatest nation under God, the lovely Mimi Lazaro. Melissa Lazaro, of course, daughter of the famous Lou the Monk Lazaro and a constant diplomat to the world of stock car racing. She will deliver this afternoon's national anthem. Mimi?
Thanks, Tom. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Melissa Lazaro. Great deliverance of this country's national anthem, and we couldn't do it without our military, past and present. Our salute to you here this Eastern State Saturday afternoon. Thank you for giving us our freedom and allowing us to partake in this all-American sport of stock car racing in freedom. We could not do it without you. Ladies and gentlemen, on this, the 57th anniversary of Eastern States Racing, the following will be your starting lineup for the 2018 running of the Halmar International, LKL Motors, WLR Construction, Pine Bush Equipment 100. Starting way back on the outside, number 18, starting in spot number 36 from Ridgefield, Connecticut, the West Fair Fish and Chips number 7 car, it'll be Michael Sabia. To the inside from Wabanger Falls, New York, in the Synergy Products FP Hatch number 93 car, Hollywood, Craig Mitchell. 17th row on the outside from Stanfordville, the Jablonka Excavation 44 car, Hurricane Shane Jablonka. On the inside, spot number 33 from Waldwick, New Jersey, in the Pearscope Properties. Number 33 to third car, it's the teacher's pet, Tommy Meyer. 16th row on the outside, West Sand Lake, New York, with the S&S Asphalt Payments 115 car. This is Kenny Tremont. To the left side of him, out of Sheffield, Massachusetts, he'll start 31st in this afternoon's lineup with the Jimmy Winchell-owned Winchell Stone and Masonry, number 17 car, Andy McKinney. 15th row on the outside from Highland Mills, the WLR Construction number 83 car, Chris Stevens. On the inside, starting in spot number 29 from Middletown in the Hudson Valley Diesel 49 car, Donnie Elliott. 14th row, spot number 28 on the outside from Fair Oaks, New York, the M&H Tractor Company number 17 car, it's Tommy Hindley. To the left side of him, in the Halmar International 55 car, with the Miles of Hope Breast Cancer Research Foundation benefit ride, it is the lovely Allison Rickey. In the 13th row on the outside, starting in spot number 26 with the Amstev Welding number 20B car, Joey Bonetti. To the left side of him, spot number 25 out of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, in the 55 machine, that's Brett Hawes. 12th row on the outside, spot number 24 from Middletown, New York, in the Tony Monaco Landscaping number 220 car, this is John Ferrier. To the left side of him, in the 69 G car, third generation driver, Randy Green. 11th row, spot number 22 on the outside, with the Better Homes and Gardens Realty number 4 car, it's Bobby Henschel. To the left side, the M&H Tractor Company number 97 car from Slate Hill, Jerry Higbee. 10th row, spot number 20 on the outside with the Landscape Innovators number 1 car, the Tornado, Timmy Hindley. On the inside, going away is spot number 19 with the Halmar International 69 car, it is Tyler B. Tyler Boniface. 9th row on the high side, starting in spot number 18 with the America First Action Super Pack number 1 car, it's Tyler Dipple. To the left side, the Sherlock Roofing number 14 car from Wantage, New Jersey, the Storm Chaser, Michael Storms. 8th row, spot number 16 on the outside with the JMB Installations number 98 car from Baldwinsville, Jimmy Phelps. To the left side, spot number 15, the Nichols Automotive 2RJ car from Dwaynesburg, RJ Ronnie Johnson. 7th row, spot number 14 on the outside, the Johnson Racing Griffin Motorsports number 3J car, this is Mark Johnson. To the left side, from Bloomingburg, in the Interstate Batteries County Waste and Recycling 21 car, it's Kerry Edwards Jr. 6th row to the left side, from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, the Quaker Shaker and the Blinderman and Sons Recycling 7 car, Scooby Rick Laubach. On the inside, spot number 11, piloting the Troyer Race Cars 21A car from Brisbane, Australia, Batman Peter Britton. 5th row, spot number 10 on the outside with the Halmar International 17J car, this is Matt Chaniak. On the inside, from Drummondville, Quebec, in the Autodome Drummond 21 car, Jan Bussier. 4th row on the outside, the Zubies Racing 17Z car. He'll go away, spot number 8, it's BK Speed, Brian Crummell. On the inside, starting in spot number 7, from Sussex, New Jersey, in the Emmerich Associates 20 car, the corporate jet, Brad Hearn. 3rd row, spot number 6 on the outside with the Hudson Valley Diesel 33 car. This is Patrick Reiser. On the inside, the Bel Air Transport number 27 car, Frankie Venezia. He'll go away starting spot number 5. Row number 2 on the outside from Danbury, Connecticut, in the Paul Whitehouse Snap-on Tools 25 car, L.J. Lombardo. On the inside, spot number 3, from Sprakers, New York, he's got a borrowed ride from C.G. Maury, the Crash Palace 14 car. This is Stewie Sturt Friesen. And your front row, second fastest timer, point champ here at the Orange County Speedway, the Superior Remodeling, Brian Smith owned 44 car, second generation driver, Kid Giddeyap, Anthony Perego. Fastest timer out here this afternoon from Waterloo, New York, in the Denny's Company's number 9S car, Superman Shepherd, your pole sitter for the 100-lap Eastern States feature. Ladies and gentlemen, now for the 4 most powerful words in the world of stock car racing, we've got 2018 Miss Orange County Fair Speedway, Christina Contento, and from Orange Motorsports and Entertainment, Mr. Jake Meyer. Folks, if you will.
Drivers, start your engines.
Here you have it, the command is given. We are set for the 100 lap Eastern States feature event.
Is this race to you?
Oh man, this is obviously the most historical, longest running modified race we have now.
Well, obviously this is the granddaddy of the short track 200s, you know.
Yeah, no, it's the one. I've been coming here since I was a kid, and never honestly thought I'd even be racing dirt modifieds on the track. So just to have the opportunity to start the race is great.
A lot of people, family, friends come for the event. A lot of crew guys that put in long hours.
Everybody knows what Eastern States is. It's a hard race to learn, I think, and to be good at, and you know that's part of what makes it special too.
This event's huge, you know what I mean? It's been around forever, longer than anything we're doing right now.
Just the history here, you know, they've been racing, you know, over 100 years now, so that's a pretty cool part about it. And you know, love coming here. The atmosphere is always cool. It's always a great party and a great race.
I remember coming here and sitting in the Fort Dern bleachers when I was 10 years old and watching the Eastern States 200.
This has always been a huge event. I mean, look at the history of the place and look at the people that have won it. And it's a big race, one of the big ones.
Flag and a 3-wide battle at the top of the green as Stewie Friesen makes a move to the inside aboard the Maury Borrowed Ride, and he'll grab the early race lead. Coming around the pit lap, they're blowing up on the lineup board. The race leader will be the number 14 car of Stuart Friesen. Second spot is the 9 of Superman Shepard right now. Perego back there for third. The battle is on already for spot number 5. It's going to be the 25 car by J. Lombardo down to the inside of Patrick Reiser. Lombardo securing spot number 5 early on in this 100 lap feature event. Here they come on turn number 4. Lap 2 goes up on the whiteboard this time. Stewie Friesen still the leader in the Crash Palace 14 car. No mandatory pit stops, no mandatory fuel stops in the 100 lap small block modified feature. That, of course, directive will change tomorrow for the 200, the big blocks. But it can be no visits whatsoever to the pit stall unless you need them. Stewie Friesen secures the early race lead. Matt Shepard is second. Anthony Perego third right now. Fourth already is Brent Hearn. Hearn is in the number 4 spot. J. Lombardo back there in spot 5. Patrick Reiser then rides in 6. Frank Venezia, the Bel Air car, back there in spot number 7 aboard the black number 27 machine. 8th place is Matt Janiak. 9th is the second 17 of Ryan Crummell. 10th is then Rick Laubach. 11th is Peter Britton. 12th is Gary Edwards. 13th right now, Mark Johnson. Field down through turns number 3 and 4, but the leader, making it a long shot lead early on with just 5 laps secured, is Stuart Friesen, the Halmar driver, borrowing the keys from C.G. Murray after the power plant left them sit down this morning and they could not replace it. Not enough time to do necessary repairs on the 44 car. Murray was quick to give him the keys to the Crash Palace 14 machine. Friesen shows the way. Second place battle now tightening up right now. Superman Shepard has the number 2 place in his hip pocket, but he's got Anthony Borrego reaching up there to try and grab that number 2 place away from him. Hearn by himself stretching things out in the number 4 spot. Lombardo still 5th. Well, lap traffic may become a factor at about the 10-lap mark, but a driver like Stuart Friesen is certainly well accustomed to lap traffic no matter which speedway he drives in. In a long-distance race, lap traffic is typically the recipe for success for Friesen. Friesen sees the lap cars now ahead of him. On a turn number 4, he drives his time. He'll try and put a lap on Michael Sabia's car. Shepard 2nd. Hearn is 4th. Lombardo 5th. Reiser 6th. 14th is Jan Busier. 15th, by the way, is Ronnie Johnson. 16th is then Jimmy Phelps. Nine laps old, almost 10% the way home to a $10,000 paycheck out here this afternoon. Stuart Friesen. This will tighten up those top 3 spots when he gets into lap traffic, even though he is a veteran of lap traffic. Friesen still has to cautiously work his way into lap traffic, and then on a borrowed race car. He hasn't had a whole lot of seat time in this car other than qualifying out here. So Friesen is still getting used to a brand new race car, not his normal seat here at the Speedway. Sabia can hear the power plant in his helmet. He knows somebody is back there behind him. He'll watch the flagman this time, give the move over sign. Sabia in the West Fair Fish and Chips car will go a lap down to leader Stuart Friesen. This tightens up the top 3. Nose and tail. They go to turn number 1 and 2 this time. It's going to be Shepard right there in the number 2 spot. Watch Anthony Borrego. Borrego put the nose down to the inside. Shepard still is not trying to make a move past Michael Sabia, a lap car. The back on the market is now right there in front of race leader Stuart Friesen. Friesen holds on to the number 1 spot. Borrego looked to the outside that time, back in spot number 3. And Hearn is getting a chance to close the door back there in spot number 4. Hearn rides at spot number 4. Lombardo is 5th. Reiser is 6th. Venezia is 7th. Janiak is 8th. Crummel is 9th. And Laubach in spot number 10. Top drivers coming out of turn number 4 this time. They make a move to the outside. Leader got around Sabia. Now the second place battle is on. Shepard right there pulling up to the tail side of a lap car. Shepard goes high. Shepard may be in trouble. The car slowing down the back straightaway. And Borrego marches by. Anthony Borrego, Kid Gideon is now taking over 2nd spot. It seemed like Shepard may have dropped off the pace for us 1 second aboard the Dennis Company's number 9 car. That let Borrego go by, so now Shepard's back in spot 3. Hearn right there in the shadow in spot number 4. 5th is still Lombardo, then followed by Reiser in 6th. Venezia in 7th. Going to keep an eye on the right front tire of Matt Shepard's car. That could be why he's slowed down there. We'll see if he's losing some air pressure or not. Shepard now goes around the lap car of Michael Sabia. Shepard's in the number 2 spot, or 3 spot. Hearn is right there in spot number 4. They'll work their way around the Ridgefield, Connecticut driver, Michael Sabia. Borrego is up in the number 2 spot. Borrego is 2nd. 3rd is Shepard. Hearn is 4th. 5th is Lombardo. Watch the top 4 cars locked in lap traffic right now as the 93 car drops off the pace down the back straightaway. Craig Mitchell may be in trouble aboard the Freedom Plains. Has the number 93 car. He shuts her off and he'll take her by himself down behind pit wall. Friesen is the leader. Now coming up onto the tail side of Chris Stevens in the WLR car. Stevens about to be the next victim of lap traffic. Friesen holds on to the number 1 spot in the Crash Palace 14 car. Then Borrego is 2nd. Kid Gideon makes a move to the outside. Point champ this year here at the Orange County Fair Speedway, and this is why. Borrego is playing it nice and cool back there in the number 2 spot. Shepard still 3rd, Hearn 4th. 5th of the lap car between them is LJ Lombardo. Reiser within 6th. Venezia 7th, Janiak is 8th, Crummel is 9th, Peter Britton is 10th, 11th is the 7 of Rick Laubach, 12th is then Gary Edwards, 13th is Mark Johnson, 14th is Jan Busier. Lap car now between spots number 1 and 2. They are locked in the back markers right now, and you have got to plan your strategy when you're a top driver and you're working your way through the back markers. It's a whole different racing market out there to try and work with. A lot of these guys know that their back markers are not pushing their cars that hard, and sometimes you get behind a slower car, and unexpectedly you're on top of them in literally no time at all. So you've got to plan your moves well, and that is what Stewie is doing right now. In the Crash Balance 14 car, the Halmar driver of the Sprinklers New York works in the number 1 spot. Borrego has still not made his move around Chris Stevens, the lap car. 3rd spot is still Shepard. Hurt is 4th, and LJ Lombardo is 5th. Lap traffic proving to be an interesting factor in the early parts of this 100-lap Eastern States feature for the small block modifies. 21 laps old, just about 20% past the mark right now. On our way to a $15,000 paycheck this afternoon. Will it be made out to the Halmar driver of Stuart Friesen as he borrowed CG Borey's hot rod for this feature event. Chris Stevens locked in between spot number 1 and 2 right now. Borrego is 2nd. Shepard sees him right there in spot 3. Hearn is right there in spot number 4. Hearn, a very calm, collected driver. He will not make any kind of crazy moves in the early parts of this event. If he sees the cars are getting hung down to the inside and he knows he has the power, the tires, and the horsepower to make a move on the outside, he might do so. He's looking just a little bit high down the home straightaway right now. It's about a half a lane higher than the Shepard car is occupying on the speedway. Matt Shepard now locked behind a lap car that is Chris Stevens, and they are center lining it down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, Anthony Borrego rides the number 2 spot, and Stuart Friesen, the Halmar driver from Sprinklers, New York, continues to dominate here this afternoon. After 23 laps of competition, Friesen goes to the inside right now of the number 17, Tommy Hindley. Hindley about to go a lap down to the leader. Down the back straightaway. I think Stuart Friesen put his nose down to the inside just to let Tommy Hindley know that the train is coming down upon him, and he's got to play his cards right. Hindley, the M&H Tractor Company car, 29 laps old, is this feature. Now the leader. Stuart Friesen goes down to the inside, putting Tommy Hindley, another lap car, to the lineup. Hindley quick down the back straightaway, tried to actually close back in on Friesen. Meanwhile, second place man is the 44 car, Anthony Borrego. He will now try to get past the Tommy Hindley number 17 car. Borrego still 2nd. 3rd is Shepard. 4th is Hearn. Top 4 cars locked in a bevy of lap traffic. Lombardo by himself back there in spot 5. Reiser 6th. Venezia 7th. Janiak is then 8th. Crumble is 9th. 10th spot is the 21 car, Peter Britton. Laubach has drifted back to 11th. Edwards is 12th. Johnson is 13th. 14th is Jan Bussier. Down the back straightaway this time, it continues to be a dominant drive this Eastern States Saturday evening by Stuart Friesen. And Ronnie Johnson is back there in spot number 15 right now, as Stuart Friesen closing in on Allison Ricky's number 55 car. Ricky knows that a team driver is back there. She won't hold him up as she drives down the back straightaway her first year in small block modified competition. Allison Ricky, 3rd generation driver from the Ricky Racing family, doing a great job here all year long in the Orange County Speedway. Early on, just a not so good starting spot may let her in a very bad position to become a lap car. Friesen on a 2 this time. Borrego is 2nd. 3rd is still Shepard. 4th is Hearn. 5th is Lombardo. Spot 6 is Reiser. 7th is Venezia. 8th is Janiak. 9th is Crumble. 10th is Peter Britton, the driver from Brisbane, Australia. 30% the way home. This lap is now 30 laps down, 70 more laps remain. Caution lights on the speedway. Our first caution here this afternoon after 30 laps of competition. Rick Laubach's car slows down in turn number 3 and 4. Gary Edwards is also in trouble aboard the 21 car. Both drivers with flat tires. Here is a right rear flat tire, the Blindeman Recycling number 7 car. That is the reason for a caution after 30 laps. And Gary Edwards in the number 21 car, also in trouble aboard the Interstate Batteries ride. He slowed too. Now, did he slow just because of Laubach's car, or is he in trouble also? Don't look like there's any flat tires on the number 21 of Edwards, so he may have just slowed to get out of Laubach's way. So we'll give Laubach a chance to get back there behind pit wall. Gary Ballou standing by with us up here doing color commentary. And Gary, I'll tell you what, how hard is it for a driver? You know you're at the early stages of a big event like this, and
how hard is it not to push yourself? You know the name of the game is staying calm, but boy, you just want to give it all you have right off the bat. And then, of course, with a car that you're not used to, how many times did that present yourself to you where you had to borrow a ride and you're not quite knowing what kind of car it is out there? You're still going to push it all the way and try and get the win?
No, because Stuart's always got a little bit left in his pocket. What I know about racing with him, very conservative with cars, and he's one of the best there is on tire management. So he's in there right now. Early you go along.
Well, Gary, I'm sure he's got quite a commission plan set up with C.G. Morey back there to borrow that Crash Palace ride for the start of this event. Of course, he put him on the best spot in the house at the drop of the green flag. So our leader here, after 30 laps of competition, continues to be Stuart Friesen out of Sprinklers, New York. The Halbar driver with a borrowed race car after power plant troubles earlier this morning left that team unable to replace the motor in time for qualifying. So C.G. Morey out of Rutland, Vermont, gave him the keys to the 14 car. And boy, he is doing them well so far out here. Don't quite know what the commission plan is. That's none of our business. But with a $15,000 paycheck, you can bet there's going to be a split there somehow. For maybe 40%, right? The name of the game is the paycheck at the end of the race. That's why they're all out here today. And of course, it's part of a $350,000+ paycheck for the 57th anniversary of Eastern States Racing. We are on the 30th lap. 70 more laps remain. There are no mandatory pit stops, no mandatory tire changes, or no mandatory fuel stops. That will change, of course, for tomorrow's 200. A small block modified car, though, of course, with greater fuel mileage than a big block counterpart, can go the distance on a full tank of fuel. But full is, of course, the name of the game. You want to keep that baby topped off for the drop of the green and not waste a whole lot under caution. Tire management, boy, that's the name of the game, and you can see that Friesen down the back straight, and we kind of gave her a little bit of a wiggle to keep the heat in those Hoosier Racing tires. Don't want to lose heat on those tires right now. Meanwhile, Rick Laubach has changed his right rear sneaker on the Blindeman recycling car. He'll come back out of the Speedway. 33 cars on the lead lap. Here's Laubach to join the tail side. We are back to green flag racing action this afternoon here at the Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York, for the 57th annual Eastern States Running. This is the small block race, and we've got problems on the straightaway. This is what we call ugly. Many cars involved, including Michael Storms, the 7 of Michael Sabia, the 83 of Chris Stevens, the 4 of Bobby Henschel, and the 55 of Allison Rickey. At the drop of the green flag, they all got together. You see the right rear tire tore off of the Shane Jablonka car in the Jablonka excavation mount. He has come to a rest right down there on the outside of the Jersey barrier. Storms obviously with a lot of damage on the Robbie Sherlock Roofing 14 car. The Storm Chaser has already abandoned ship and is walking back to his pit stall right now. And a dejected Michael Storms after doing some damage on the left front corner on that beautiful number 14 car. Tough break for that campaigner. All in the pit area already is Andy Joey Benetti, the 98 of Jimmy Phelps, and the 17 of Tommy Heinle. Now, Heinle was a lap car. Tyler Dibble is also in there, changing the tire as well. And you know, Gary, we talked about the changing of the temperature of the track. It has also taken on a lot of rubber, and taking on rubber is actually abrasive to a tire, is it not? And the abundance of green flag laps we've had this afternoon, any racetrack would take on rubber and become abrasive. So these guys got to start worrying about tire management.
Well, that's a big part of the whole game. Tire management. Burn every tire off, seals over, you're done. You got to hit it harder than the heat. That's the score story right now. Roll the bottom line. Got the bar off the corner straight. That's what you do best.
Thank you, Gary. Of course, one of the most notorious drivers who has written the book on tire management has got to be Brett Hearn. We have seen him go the entire distance without changing a tire, pull into victory lane, and it still looks like he can go another 20, 25 laps on the tire. So if anybody can take a lesson from anybody, these guys have to be watching the groove and the style of driving that Brett Hearn occupies out here in a long distance event.
That's why he's no panic here right now. He's playing not to go. Just ride. That's why he's won.
Now, Bill Utter reminds us that Andy Bacchetti in the original number 17 car has moved from 31st up to 15th position right now, and he is the driver that has made the most moves up through the pack. So keep your eyes on the Winchell, Stone, and Masonry number 17 car, the small block ride for the Wild Charm on Sheffield, Massachusetts here this afternoon. He is making some quick strides up through the pack, but of course, that can be somewhat counterproductive because making those kind of moves so early on could be havoc on your tires. Pretty soon that thing could decide just to pass out on you, and then you're going to be sitting with a tire glazed over and just know where to go with it.
That's it. If you burn everything up early, you've got no pleasure to go. No matter where you're at, it's good to
Obviously, with a move like that, McKenny does have a tire change in his future forecast before the end of this event is out here. So, kind of interesting. Everybody's got a different strategy. Everybody wants to either go fast early and then change a tire, or take it easy earlier and have something left in the last half of the event. Hey, those who take the roll of the dice and come up with the biggest gamble, those are the ones who get the biggest paycheck oftentimes. See what happens right now. 30 laps old, 70 laps remains in this afternoon's Eastern States 100 for small block modifies. Live from the Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York. Go back to green flag lap racing on lap number 30. It is third Friesen on a Springers, New York. The Halmar driver with the 14 car, and he takes off quickly and waves bye-bye. Somebody going backwards, though, on the speedway, losing a lot of spots, is the 33 car. Patrick Reiser, he got hung out the dry. And the outside lane was obviously not his lane of choice. He lost about 5 spots to the lineup out there in turn number 2. And Laubach is also slowing down the back straightaway. Laubach slowing in the number 7 car. He could be pit bound early on. He was the reason for the first caution out here, as he lost a tire, but something has arrived. The Blindeman recycling car. Trouble in turn number 2 at 2 different spots on the speedway. We've got many cars involved in turn number 2 right now. First exiting turn number 2. There's cars of Allison Rickey and the 20 of Joe Benetti. The other 21 down the back straight was involved. He's driving away from him right now. That's Jan Bussier in the Autodome Brumman number 21 car. So it all started, there was problems in the front of turn number 2 and the tail of turn number 2 as well. Caution was right back on the speedway after 31 laps of competition. Gary Ritz also had his involvement in that mishap as well, so that cost him some time with the speedway again. And we did so great early on in this event, and then all of a sudden you have a couple of cautions like this. And Gary, of course, when you have 30 green flag virtual laps out here at the speedway, the drivers are pumped, the adrenaline is flowing, and then all of a sudden you get a couple of cautions like this, and does it kind of ruin your train of thought inside the car? Do you kind of got to regroup and readjust?
The cautions give you a chance to pull the tires off, put a little thought in what you're going, where you're at, what you need to do with that, when you're 30, what it might be. In this case, it's put 70. We got plenty of laps to go. So, think of some more about what you're doing. Let your radio control good keep it on. Tell them what's coming through the back, they know what's coming through there. You're also set to the right.
So lots of rolling of the dice going on inside the cockpits of these hot rods right now as these drivers are back on a caution lap. 31 laps old is this 100-lap feature event here this afternoon. The Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York. America's oldest operating speedway on a weekly basis. 99 years of history underneath our belts. We are heading for our centennial, and a mark that many racetracks, past and present, will never be able to acclaim. We can here at the Orange County Speedway, 99 years in the making. All we can say is look out for year 100. It is going to be a season like none other, thanks to Orange Motorsports and Entertainment, who have taken over the lease here at the Speedway. major, massive improvements all around the campus of the fairgrounds, and the best is still yet to come. Hey, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, here on the campus of the fairgrounds, a lot happens tonight after the final checkered flag flies. The 31st Lap Bar and Lounge, brought to us by the Maxwell family here at the Speedway on the Midway Plaza, will be the hot place to stop all evening long. The annual New Year's Eve party, the Fab Faux Band will open things up. That's our Beatles tribute band. What a great job they did at the fair here this year. They're back for a second appearance in 2018, thanks to Orange Motorsports and Entertainment. Then, of course, DJ Eric Santana will also spin records and take us into the New Year's Eve hour. This is our annual New Year's Eve party at Orange County Speedway. History, history, history. Even our partying has history here at the Orange County Speedway, as the New Year's Eve party has been the place to be on Saturday night of Eastern States for so many years. And Gary, you're going to stay awake for the New Year's Eve party, aren't you?
Oh, I can't make the New Year's Eve party here. I need to be back home with the family.
All right, well, you don't watch yourself, we might make you the New Year's baby. All right, okay. We'll see if we can diaper you up out there, you know.
You ever seen a 71-year-old baby?
Hey, just depends, right? All right, here we go. Under caution of the Orange County Fair Speedway, the caution lights have been turned out. We'll go back to green flag racing excitement. This is the Halmar International Orcal Motors Eastern States 100. Here we come on turn number 4. Back to business right now. Well, they're all bunched back up in no lap traffic, and now as the travel out of turn number 2. Stuart Friesen once again turns up the wick. Here comes Brett Hearn. Hearn makes a move down to the inside. Brett Hearn is now our new third-place traveler. Hearn takes over the third-place real estate, putting the number 9, Matt Shepard, back to spot number 4. The Dentist Company's number 9 car, Super Matt, now back to spot number 4. Fifth place tussle is also on LJ Lombardo. Here comes another Halmar driver, Matt Janiak. Janiak is now back there in spot number 6. Venezia is 7th. Johnson is 8th in the lineup. 9th is the Trumbull race cars. They work down the back straightaway. Trumbull in turn number 2. Boy, that's been the sore spot for cautions here. Yellow lights on the field, and we've got about a half a dozen cars in trouble down there. Sabia drives away, so does Bobby Henschel, but Tommy Hindley, Gary Edwards, Jimmy Phelps, Donnie Elliott, and Jan Boussier all sit down there in turn number 2. And that's been the hot spot. Gary, you drove many laps of this speedway. Is there a portion, going back to your racing days, is there a part of the speedway where you were most cautious of? A spot that would cause you the most trouble, you think, here at the Orange County Speedway, you're going to be the most cautious going into?
You know, all the years I raced here, I really didn't think either end. Racing Mexico, straight away saying that. Today, when he knows the box is free boxes, that's what's happening. And like I said, you don't race, you don't know, so you race a little more.
Now, there's an old phenomenon here at the Orange County Speedway that turn 1 has somewhat of a funnel effect. Is that true?
It's different. One is a little different than 3. But
Well, most of the times you're up there in the front anyway, so you have nothing to worry about, right? All right, there you have it. Gary Ballou standing by with us, of course, the color commentator with us up here. And boy, he has turned virtually thousands of laps here in the legendary House of Power in Middletown, New York. Many times he was in victory lane here at the Orange County Speedway. And of course, he's got the restored Batmobile all weekend long with us, signing autographs down there behind the Midway Plaza and selling that book as well. Tommy Meyer, Bill Utter tells us, Tommy Meyer has come from 33rd to 15th right now in the Pearscope property. Schottmeyer Brothers small block modified. So keep your eyes on the teacher's pet, Tommy Meyer, out of Waldwick, New Jersey, the Waldwick Warrior himself, multi-time track champion. He has claimed the checkered flag in this event more than once. Of course, looking down the lineup, 16 times a winner in the small block modified classic at Orange County Speedway since 1977, since the small blocks became part of the Eastern States trip, has been Brett Hearn, the only 16-time winner. Doug Hoffman was a 4-time winner. Danny Johnson, 5 times a winner. Kenny Tremont had 3 wins. Jeff Hessler had 2 wins, and so did Stuart Friesen. Other winners, too, included Anthony Ferriola the 4th, Harry Barron, Mike Petruska Sr., Dickie Kuiper from down in Bath, Pennsylvania, Alan Johnson, Jerry Higbee, Billy Decker, Jimmy Phelps, and Brian Krummel. They've all won this small block modified portion of Eastern States, but only Brett Hearn and Danny Johnson have won both big block and small block on a given weekend. Now, of course, if a driver does that out here this weekend, thanks to Halmar International, they'll write out a separate bonus check for $10,000. So one driver will be eligible after the culmination of this event for that extra $10,000 bonus in 3 years that has yet to be claimed. This could be the breaker. This could be the tiebreaker here this year. Stuart Friesen, the Halmar driver himself, up there in the #1 spot on a borrowed ride, but doing a very good job so far in 32 laps of competition out here this afternoon. Again, 32 laps old is this feature event. Stuart Friesen is our leader. Anthony Borrego second. Brett Hearn is third. Matt Shepard is fourth. LJ Lombardo fifth. Matt Janiak sixth. Venezia seventh. Johnson is eighth. Ninth is Crummell, and 10th is Britton. 11th is then Boniface. 12th is Ronnie Johnson. 13th is Jerry Higby. 14th, it looks like Patrick Reiser. And 15th is Tommy Meyer. We just mentioned that. 16th is Andy McKinney. 17th is then Timmy Hindley. 18th looks like John Ferrier. Just ramble down the back straightaway. The field still remains under caution right now. The Orange County Speedway.
I don't know how I could throttle back and do it halfway. I either have to be all in or all out.
Here we come on turn number 4, going back to business on the speedway. 32 laps old is this event right now. 68 more laps of green flag action at the top of the green flag. Hearn makes a move to the inside part of the speedway. Brett Hearn takes the Emmerich Associates 20 car up to the #2 spot. Hearn, a surprising move on Kid Giddy up Anthony Borrego. Field tightens up going on 2, and trouble in turn number 2 again. One car up against the concrete down there on the outside is the 17 of Andy McKinney. The small block ride for him, the Winchellstone and Mason area car. McKinney bringing out the caution instantly in that 17 machine. 43-year-old driver from Sheffield, Massachusetts brings out a caution again. No additional laps have been scored. Still 68 laps remain out here this afternoon. Cleaning up turn number 2 quickly, getting McKinney pushed off. He fires it back up into his own power. He'll return back behind pit wall. Back to the pit area he goes, McKinney, or back to the lockers or showers, we've nicknamed him here at the Speedway. Hey, still the 50-50 number has not been claimed. It was a beige Lebanon Valley Speedway ticket, number 358561. It is worth $2,220 out here today. 358561, $2,220. So if you have that ticket, we've got a big bucket full of cash for you. We'll hold on to it for you if you want to wait till after the race, but we'd certainly like to have a winner. And know that somebody's $1 has turned themselves into a $2,020 paycheck, $2,220 paycheck. 3 2s and 1 0, then a decimal point. All right, still 32 laps on this afternoon's light board. Still 68 laps remain. Going to try it once again. Here we come on turn number 4. Eastern States 100 is back underway here at the Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York. To the inside, rides LJ Lombardo at the drop of the green flag, and LJ has picked up spot number 4. Then the Halmar 17 car, Matt Janiak in spot 5. Superman has dropped off the pace and down the back straightaway. Shepard tries to tuck it back in line for spot number 7. Out of 4 this time, it is still the 14 car, bumps Stewie Friesen into the #1 spot. Borrego second, Hearn third, Lombardo fourth, Janiak fifth. Then yellow lights come on the speedway again. Trouble this time is in turn number 4. Yellow lights on the speedway. One more lap has been put onto the tote board. Trouble down there between 3 and 4, just past the pit gate. Field dropping in single file formation right now because it's real easy to try and keep these cars in proper momentum and proper order. And we tell them from in-car radio contact from mission control to drop single file at cautions. It makes relining all the quicker. And continuing on with tonight's racing program. Little confusion at the tail side of this lineup. Our final event here tonight, the third of 4 days of stock car racing at the historic Orange County Fair Speedway for the Eastern States racing portion. Tomorrow, of course, the big granddaddy of them all, the 57th annual Eastern States 200 for big block modifieds. Qualifying has been done except for the last chance race, which we've renamed the B mains this year. So non-qualified cars are going at it tomorrow for a B main, and just like today, the first place will then pay $2,000 in the B main tomorrow. The winner has the option. Does he take door number 1, $2,000? Does he take door number 2, give back the check and get himself a starting spot in the 200? 2nd through 6th will be guaranteed starting spots. All finishers in the B main tomorrow from 7th on back that are non-qualified cars still get a $500 paycheck. Just part of the $173,000 worth of money going up in tomorrow afternoon's Eastern States 200. Again, a big thank you to Halmar International, Arkel Motors, your interstate truck dealer. Eastern States Racing Festival. Big thank you to the sponsors. We couldn't do it without them. A big thank you to everyone here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Race fans, this is your house. Welcome. Thank you for making Orange County Speedway your choice for Saturday afternoon of Eastern States entertainment. We couldn't do it without you. We're trying to cater to you in every way, shape, and form possible. It is a great sight to see all of you folks out here for the 3rd of 4 days of excitement. We know you'll all be back here tomorrow, but it may be a standing room only crowd. So great sight. We, of course, owe our efforts to you. You help us to make us want to do this week in and week out here at the legendary House of Power. A big welcome again to the thousands of people live streaming right now through our website. All across the world, if you've never been to the Orange County Fair Speedway, this is a 5/8 mile hard clay dirt track, first opened back in 1919, known as the Victory Speedway, known then as the Harry Clay Oval. That's back when it was the horse racing days here at the Speedway, and Harry Clay was one of the most notorious horses. His name was Harry Clay. His headstone is still on the campus of the fairgrounds. Here we come on the outside of turn number 4 this time, back to green flag racing. Here we go, green lights back in the air. Friesen back up into the number 1 spot. Here comes Lombardo at the drop of the green flag. Lombardo trying to make a move to the outside. Janiak is caught down to the inside right now. The tussle is on for spot number 4. Down the back straight over the ride this time. It's going to be the inside lane to take up into the number 4 spot. Lombardo with the 25 car thought he had a strategy in mind when he moved to the outside of the drop of the green flag. Maybe it didn't work. He is back there now battling for spot number 5. To the inside ride, Superman Shepard on a Waterloo with the 9S car. And Shepard takes over the number 5 spot. He puts Lombardo out to dry right now as BK Speed. Brian Crummell from here in Middletown, New York, marches by the David Zubikowski-owned Zuby's Hot Rod, the number 17 car. Crummell, very popular driver here at the legendary House of Power. Many a feature wins that he has under his belt. And yellow lights coming on the speedway. Caution. This time the magnet is down there in turn number 4. A couple of cars involved down there, including the number 2 car, Ronnie Johnson, and the 1 of Timmy Hindley. Another car involved in that is caught in front of the trailers and is out of our vantage point, so we can't see it from up here, but we know from the party deck over there in the half-cover grandstand, they can see that inside of turn number 4. They know exactly who else is involved down there. Red lights are on. We do want to have the medics go down there and check out somebody involved in the turn 4 mishap. Like I say, the majority of that is out of our vantage point right now. So red lights have been thrown on lap number 39 here this afternoon at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Problems down in turn number 4. About 3 or 4 cars involved. We can't get a number reading on all the cars because our line of vision is blocked a little bit by the big super haulers down there in the inside of turn number 4. So will bring the field to a halt. Sheet or a comforter or a pillowcase or a bed sheet or a whatever, it's going to be removed. So do not save seats tonight because we must clean the grandstands, and anything there afterwards will be disposed of properly. Also involved down there is the 55 of Brett Hawes, Ronnie Johnson's 2RJ car, Patrick Reiser's 33, and Timmy Hindley's number 1 car. So those cars involved down there in turn number 4. One of those cars involving some attention from our medics. Field remains under red flag conditions right now after 39 laps of competition here in this evening's Eastern States 100 for small block modifieds. This is the Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York, bringing you the 57th anniversary of Eastern States racing action. Longest, most continuously running stock car racing track in America, and the Eastern States Racing Weekend, the longest, most continuously running special event for stock car drivers. Tommy Meyer is up 22 spots, says Bill Utter, from 32 up to 11th right now. So Tommy Meyer has made some great strides up through the pack. Gary Ballou, of course, standing by up here doing color commentary with us this weekend. And, you know, Gary, of course, safety is the name of the game. You always kind of think about it. You probably most think about it, though, when you're building those cars and maintaining them in the shop. When the green flag drops, safety is probably the last thing on your mind, and a lot of drivers are known to do some pretty crazy things out there in the name of getting a spot, are they not?
Yeah, that's true. The race is won during the weekend in the shop. I mean, you have to be prepared. But I always felt like sort of preparation means opportunity. If you're not prepared for that, the cars are prepared, go fast, sit together, you can't win a race. You know, so preparation is very important. And then you have to be smart enough to race track to adjust to what's going on. It's a circus and what's happening. It's raining, it's cold, and it's rubber, not to see the racetrack. So it just takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of good people. Nobody's ever won a race by themselves.
Well, as Kenny Tremont getting taken back behind pit wall, also another outside invader for this event, a very popular driver. Gary, of course, we read your book from cover to cover, and more than once, the aspect of safety did come into mind, and you were always an advocate for safety in a stock car, and you probably came up with a couple of things that most drivers didn't even think of in building your cars, not only the dirt track cars, but the late model cars as well.
Well, probably in all my race cars, the cars that I built for anybody who developed race cars and sold, safety was the most important thing. You know, you keep with life tubing in your ear to join a kid yourself, you can hurt somebody. You know, and what it bells about, what his feature mounted, just where his steering pump, what the car bells, and all that matters because you do crashes. You know, when you crash, you get hurt. I think I survived as long as I get racing. I've hurt myself, broke my back, broke my legs, and my elbow, and my shoulder, my ribs, and on, but there were safe race cars.
Good news from down there in turn number 4. All drivers are okay, so the medics have given us good word down there. And Gary, thinking back to that notorious race at Syracuse. Now, did you get a chance to see the construction of the Batmobile as it was being built, or was it just a pull off the sheet and surprise, here you go?
How that came about, we were doing some other racing, World Series stock car racing. And Kenny Rowe was down there with us. He always told me he wanted to build me a race car that I could drive 85% of the Batmobile. So, I'd love to have something like that. That would be done. But he run all the improvements with the Batmobile, and showed us this and showed us that. I said, well, that's cool, let's try to do that. I talked to people, made some phone calls, and we got the money appropriated
In the construction process itself, was there any point in time where you had input and said, no, I don't want something here, I want it changed, I want it a little bit differently, and please do this for my reasoning? Or was it just let them guys do their job and you will drive the race car?
It was. He was the master. He had Don Brown, he had Ted Long, Ron Hunter, and Race Caucus, on and on. It was a dream team. You can't imagine putting that many good teams together at that time, because every one of them had an idea. Let's make this thing fast. Yes, I'm working hard. No, let's move the win. You know what I'm saying? And he orchestrated that. He was good with that. We really got practice one time and then go like that. He would really piss off at me over that. He was wondering what happened. I was not show our hand. I was what happened. I think you're really what happened. So when I come in before the practice, he would talk.
We read that in your book, of course. You can't tell a race driver like Gary Blue only to go half fast. That's not in your vocabulary by any means, but was it a head scratcher when you looked at the car for the first time and said, to this very day, it doesn't look like your traditional dirt track modified race car? Did you have second thoughts?
No, but you gotta understand what he was doing, the aero, as far as the top line, big close underneath, like the wing, where it was not an elbow on it, and it was not as high to be above everybody off the clean air, because they had a minimum on maximum. He runs sprint cars, and he races wins on sprint cars, he knew what position he was going to be in. And the same thing with pods in the side of your airplane, that you run on an Indianapolis car. Don Brown built an Indianapolis car, so they knew that you could get to what they had to have for downforce. So here, you couldn't do it, so it's pretty well balanced. This was from here, carburetor, just getting probably another 30 horse. So, all those things added up. And when you see it, you look at it, I look at it, if you understand what you're doing, how you're doing it, it's pretty cool.
There were a lot of legal tricks that nobody thought about, and to this very day can still be used on the speedway, but just nobody thinks about that stuff in the shop. A guy like Kenny Weld, man, years ahead of his time. He knew what to do. Well, again, such a big thank you to Gary Blue. We brought him up here to the announcer's tower. He's our color commentator, offering us a different insight to stock car racing that so many of us, including myself, with very little track time in a race car, can offer in a historic event like the Eastern States 200. We are so thankful to have Gary Blue with us here the entire weekend. We'll bring him back here tomorrow for the 200, and he will be able to offer insights to us that no announcer can offer. So we thank Gary Blue for spending time with us, and we're not done yet. He's going to keep here right to the checkered flag out here today, and thank him for giving us his time out here as color commentary. And Joel, just like in NASCAR, old race drivers never go away, they become announcers later on. So we made Gary Blue an announcer here today, and he's our color commentator, and hey, doing a good job. Thanks, Gary, so far. We're not done with you yet.
Thank you, we're not done.
All right.
We'll do this again tomorrow.
Caution lights are back on the speedway. Track is cleared down there in turns number 3 and 4. This is the 57th running of the Eastern States Racing Festival, and 35 laps old is the Eastern States 100 this Saturday evening for small block modifieds. Still no winner in the 50-50. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go live downstairs in the short shoot area to Mandy Pouch. Mandy?
All right, so I just spoke with Tim Heinlich, and he said between Mark Johnson and Ronnie Johnson, they got together. It was just a split matter of time. He got front end damage, rear end damage. He's done for the night. I also ran over, I talked to Eric Mack with Stuart Friesen's car owner. He said going into this race, the only strategy they had was to conserve their tire, and he says, run it until he blows. Back to you, Tim.
All right, back downstairs with Mandy Pouch reporting live from the short shoot area along the home straightaway of the Orange County Fair Speedway. Mandy offering us some color input from down there inside the pit area. She had a chance to talk with Heinley, of course, involved in that accident. It's always a race driver's momentum and just keep going and take it as far as you can. And even when she's bent up a little bit, still get her back out on the racetrack, because hey, a spot is a couple of $100. So thank you very much, Mandy Pouch, live down to the short chute of the Orange County Fair Speedway this Eastern States Saturday evening. Caution lights have already been turned down. We're set to go back to green flag racing action here this evening at the Orange County Speedway. Cars from that caution are now being taken behind pit wall. It is a clear racetrack ahead, ready for the conclusion and the continuation of this evening's Eastern States 100, brought to us again by Halmar International and Arkel Motors. Here we come on a turn number 4. Green flag racing again. We're back up to business on the speedway. Stuart Friesen, of course, outstanding driving talent on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Also backed by Halmar International. This guy has got a couple of 1,000 laps under his belt in a typical race season, and boy, diversity is the name of the game for the career of Stuart Friesen. From asphalt to the Camping World Truck Series to dirt track stock car racing on a weekly basis, tracks all over the Northeast. Halmar proud to be behind their driver, Stuart Friesen, on a Sprinklers New York. Second place battle is on down the back straightaway. Here comes Brett Hearn down to the inside. Hearn makes a move off to the inside line against Anthony Borrego. Coming out of turn number 4, a new second place campaigner. This is the Corporate Jet, the commander here in the Orange County Speedway, and the Emmerich Associates 20 car out of Sussex, New Jersey, Brett Hearn. Hearn up to the number 2 spot right now, putting Borrego back to spot 3. Shepard riding 4th in the lineup right now. LJ Lombardo is 5th. Then Matt Janiak back there in spot 6. Brian Crummell is 7th. Tyler Boniface rides back there in 8th. Another Halmar car aboard the 69 entry. So 8th spot is Tyler Boniface. 9th is then Jerry Higby. 10th is Frank Venezia. Tommy Meyer is 11th. Jan Bussier in spot number 12. 13th is Peter Britton. Action continues well before the halfway point of this 100-lap classic here down at the Orange County Speedway. 39 laps old is this feature event. Next time around, 40% the way home to a checkered flag here this evening. A $15,000 paycheck awaits at the conclusion when the final checkered flag drops out here. 60 laps, still a long way to go. Anything can happen in the latter part of this event. Drivers have a strategy in mind, and they are sticking to their plan. But sometimes things just don't happen that way. You'll end up pushing your car a whole lot farther than you had anticipated. Wearing up the tires, running down the fuel. Cautions, of course, eat away at the fuel cell. When you had planned to run the entire distance, not taking on fuel, it may be a factor later on, because we've had caution on the speedway. We have it again. Cautions eat up some fuel. Yellow, yellow, yellow on the racetrack. Out of turn number 2, it is the 21 car of Gary Edwards Jr. out of Bloomingburg, New York, in the Interstate Batteries County Waste and Recycling car. He has come to a rest on the outside, fired the car back up. It is limping down the back straightaway, back behind pit wall. So yellow again on lap number 40 for Gary Edwards Jr., longtime campaigner here at the Orange County Speedway. Used to be one of the young guns of the Saturday night campaigning. Seems like overnight he has become 45 years old. So remember when he was just a teenager making his break into racing action here at the Speedway, piloting a DKM chassis here this Eastern States Racing weekend. Gary Edwards, the County Waste and Recycling, Interstate Batteries 21 car, the reason for the caution on lap number 40. Talking with Bill Utter reminds us that Michael Storms, the 14 car, is now 14th in the lineup. Earlier stop there along pit road, he did not lose any time. He's on the lead lap, and Storms, we call him the Storm Chaser ever since his career began here at the Orange County Speedway as a youngster. He's in the lineup back there, and he's on the move. Green flag again as they come out of turn number 4 this time. Tyler Boniface wants to make a move out to the outside and join his teammate Matt Janiak as he goes racing alongside of BK Speed Brian Crummell right now. But Crummell exits early onto the inside line down the back straightaway, grabbing back the spot and keeping Boniface at bay right there in the draft. Now Boniface looks down to the inside as Crummell slid up to the outside a little bit, but Crummell defends the inside part of the real estate, and he will hold on to the number 6 position. Janiak is 6th, Crummell 7th, Boniface is 8th, Jerry Higby in spot number 9. Tommy Meyer has made the move into spot number 10 in the Pearsco Properties 33 to 3rd car. Yellow, 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 the Speedway. Trouble again after 41 laps of competition. Yellow lights on the Speedway. Out of turn number 2, one car up against the concrete. That was the 3 car of Mark Johnson. Johnson in trouble down there along with one other car, the 69 of Randy Green. So Green is coming to a rest up on the outside of the Speedway. Yellow lights on the Speedway again for the 69 of Randy Green. The only car not to pull away from that mishap down outside of turn number 2. I know up here with Gary Ballou. And Gary, how often under caution do you start hearing noises and stuff in the stock car and you think, oh no, am I in trouble now? Or should I ignore it? Should I pay attention to it? Or that's got to be a real head scratcher too when you're inside a cockpit of a race car.
When you hear that, when you're about 10 laps, hear this, hear that, losing the brakes, stop. I hear the trick there, I think we're losing the rear. We need to, all that goes through your head. Come on, we only got a little bit. You gotta make it when you do it. And that's how you get it. You get that bottom here, especially with the 4 lap race, with the longer race.
Then a day later, you think back to that time when you thought about that inside the car, thinking, well, there's really nothing wrong at all. I shouldn't have been worrying about that.
Wrong at all. And like I said before, it's all about preparation, beating up with you.
Preparation certainly is 99% of the game. Most of the races are won in the shop. We've heard that more than once, and as Gary Ballou can confirm for that. Here we go, back to green flag racing excitement. Stuart Friesen, who has led this event since the drop of the green flag in the Crash Palace 14 car. Friesen down the back straightaway, puts about a 3-car length jog between himself and Brett Hearn. Hearn is back there in spot number 2, a 16-time winner of this historic event here at the Orange County Speedway. When it first began as a 50-lap feature back in 1977. This is the 42nd running of the small block portion of Eastern States. 57 years old is the Eastern States race itself. 42 of those years, we've had small blocks as part of the racing schedule on Eastern States weekend. Way many years ago, it began as just a single-day event. Then became 2 days, became 3 days, and now for the last 2 years, it's even a 4-day racing vacation. Certainly a good reason to call in sick for a day or 2 off of work. As they race down out of turn number 2 this time, Hearn holds on to the number 2 spot. Then Borrego is 3rd. Right there in spot number 4 is the 9 car of Matt Shepard. Shepard rides in spot number 4. The 25 car still back in spot 5. That is young LJ Lombardo out of Danbury, Connecticut, in the Snap-on Tool sponsored small block. Probably the portion of the race right now, the drivers just want to settle for a couple of laps, not wear out a lot of tires, not use up a lot of fuel. They can see on the light board on the straightaway and in turn number 1 that we're still 6 laps shy of the halfway point. They know they can't win it on the first couple of laps here, so at some point they will just try and rest and let nature take its course out here and let things unfurl before themselves. And the main name at this point of the game is to stay out of trouble. Meanwhile, we see a battle for spot number 3 down the back straightaway. Borrego can hear some photos in his helmet. Little does he know, it is the number 9 car of Matt Shepard. Shepard right there against the backside of Borrego could put a dollar bill between those 2 cars and get at least a quarter's worth of change as they hold on to that battle for spot number 3. Borrego, we call him Kid Giddy-Up here at the Orange County Fair Speedway. One of the most winningest drivers this year here at the fairgrounds, both in small block and big block modifieds. He's a point champion this year as he rambles down the back straightaway. Super Matt now takes him as a drafting partner. Now they're in turns number 3 and 4. This race is now 47 laps old. 3 laps shy of the halfway point. Remember, the halfway point is worth extra money tonight for lap number 50. That's tomorrow, that's not. As they ramble on out here, 3 laps shy of the halfway point, they can just about wipe their slates clean and start over right now because they've still got another 50 laps in front of them here tonight at the Orange County Speedway. So still a lot of work to do before these guys can go back to the 31st lap and begin their partying this evening, and that they will do. As we are 2 laps shy right now of lap number 50. Race leader still continues to be Stuart Friesen on a borrowed race car from CG Boy. The Crash Palace 14 car is Friesen. Now with about a 10-car length lead on the 20 of Brett Hearn. Then about another 10-car length gap. The third place battle continues, and wow, did you see that? Shepard almost climbed the left rear tire of the number 44 car, and he could have been shot through the goalpost on that one, because boy, the last thing you want to do is catch a wheel in a race car. It becomes a catapult for you, and that was almost lights out for Super Matt. He backed down now. He's back there, left about a 3-car length gap between himself and the 44 car of Borrego. You see the bent left rear quarter panel on the Superior remodeling car? That's what happened just a second ago when Super Matt got into the tail side and almost climbed that left rear car. He could have been shot through the goalpost on that one, but he came back down on all fours like a cat falling from a tree. Lands on all four paws and keeps on going. That is Super Matt back there in spot number 4. Lombardo rides in 5. Trouble is 6. 7th spot is still Janiak. 8th is then Boniface. 9th is now BK Speed Brian Crumble. Let's reset the field right now again. By himself in turn number 1. Watching some back markers now into his picture is your leader, Stuart Friesen. Hearn 2nd. Borrego 3rd. Shepard 4th. Lombardo is 5th. Crumble is 6th. 7th is then Janiak. 8th is Boniface, and 9th is the beautiful M&H Tractor Company, number 97. That is Jerry Higbee. So Higbee well inside the top 10 right now. Back there aboard the number 97 car, riding in the 9th spot. 10th is then Tommy Meyer. Peter Britton is 11th. 12th is Frank Venezia. 13th is Jan Bussier. 14th is the Allison Rickey car. And 15th is down to 14 of Michael Storm. So action continues here tonight in the Orange County Fair Speedway. Barring any caution, Stuart Friesen is now going to work on the back markers of lap traffic. And again, lap traffic is usually what tightens up the battle in the top 5. And a lot of these cars don't realize, wow, almost a scramble down there in turn number 1. As John Ferrier got down to the inside of Brett Haas, and they did a little skid rail rubbing. Down the back straightaway, Stuart Friesen seeing the back markers. You know he's got to plan his strategy to get around the back markers, not quite knowing exactly where 2nd place is. He knows it's Brett Hearn, but does not know the big gap of space that he has between them. Now let's get out the compass and start studying things here to see if he can get by the number 3 of Mark Johnson. The double lane lap traffic ahead of him. 3 lap cars, 2 lanes ahead of him. And this got to bring out a bead of sweat on the brow of Stuart Friesen, our race leader. Down the back straightaway, he makes a bold move to the inside of lap traffic, but then the lap car comes down to close up the gap. Friesen had to put on the binders down there in turn number 3. Friesen's back to the inside aboard the 14 car, getting by the 69 of Ronnie Green. Now tucked in between 3 lap cars. Hearn's got a lap car between himself and the 14 of Stuart Friesen. That's the Randy Green hot round down the back straightaway, a lap car. Borrego still 3rd, Super Matt is 4th, and 5th is L.J. Lombardo. Then Brian Crumble is 6th. Yellow lights on the speedway on lap number 57. Trouble on the outside of turn number 4. It is Michael Storms in the Robbie Sherlock Roofing number 14 car. Storms has come to a rest by himself outside of turn number 4. Yellow lights are back on the speedway. 58 laps old is this 100-lap shootout. Again, the 50-50 number has still to be claimed. It is $2,220. It is a beige Lebanon Valley Speedway ticket, number 358561. If you've got a 50-50 ticket, don't leave here today without reaching in the pocket and taking a look at that. If it's a ticket sold by one of our Lebanon Valley Speedway 50-50 vendors, and it's beige and it's got 358561 on it, you don't want to leave here tonight without $2,220 in your hip pocket. Probably about a dozen more friends follow you than ever you knew you had. Let's go downstairs to Mandy Pouch for a quick update. Mandy?
Thanks, Tim. I spoke with Brett Hearn's crew. They said going into tonight's race, they just wanted to play it smart. They're saying that with the consecutive green laps, that the track may start to take rubber and it may become a tire game. So keep your eyes open for all those cars. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you very much. Mandy Pouch down there in the short road. Of course, now tire strategy becomes the name of the game, especially for drivers like Brett Hearn. And now this is the window where cautions begin to count here tonight at the Orange County Fair Speedway. Caution laps will count up until lap number 90. The last 10 laps of any event must be run under the powers of the green flag. A great gesture on behalf of Orange Motorsports and Entertainment to make the end of this event just exciting as possible. Up to lap number 90, we will count cautions after the 90th lap. That's when the lap counter is frozen again. Last 10 laps must be under green flag conditions. So, racing continues here tonight. 60 laps old is this 100-lap shootout for the small block modifieds. 60% home to a checkered flag, and a $15,000 paycheck tonight in a nearly $82,000 purse for these drivers. A great payoff, part of the $350,000 weekend payoff for all divisions of stock car excitement here at the Orange County Speedway. Began on Thursday night with a hard clay finale. Third night of 4 days of competition. Here we are, green flag racing action, back to speeds. Hearn pressed Friesen that time down the straightaway. Left no air between them. And Friesen takes off. Field tightens up right there in turn number 2. One car shutting off. Trouble down the back straightaway. One car shuts off. It looks like the Tyler Dimple number 1 car, the America First number 1 car, has shut off. And yellow lights come back on the speedway. Yellow lights back on. Trouble as Tyler Dimple shut off in turn number 2. Venezia was also caught up in that fracas as he had no place to go. So we're back under caution. Gary, many years ago at the Nazareth Speedway, I heard a great phrase from Frankie Schneider. As a race driver, you don't just watch what's in front of you. You try and keep an eye on 2 or 3 cars in front of them. There you can just about pick out when a caution is going to occur. That a philosophy that you adopted many times as well?
You gotta watch way again. You can't watch the video. You gotta watch all the way to the other end straight away. The places that you race, pits are on the outside, you look across the racetrack, you see what's going on. You gotta remember back in the day, when you race the Bears, your racing, your flatter, how you have cars,
Well, many years also, Gary, of course, it was easier to see out of the race cars than they are today. Today, your line of vision is definitely blocked. Then, of course, with the onslaught of full-face helmets as well, your line of vision probably got cut back a good 40-45%.
I would say it's at least 40-45%. You know, we got all the heads that watch down on the seats. You know, like you said, plus the full face on. And just when the roofs on the car for aero and with the body, plus the hood scoops and all that stuff. You had a vision way down to what it used to be.
Now, do you think last night, when Will Kegel came back to the Orange County Fair Speedway and hopped behind one of the wheels of the modern-day modified, do you think it may have caught him by surprise a little bit? Boy, this isn't the old 24 car, is it?
No, but I said to talk to the same thing, you know, I've got a bunch of stuff, you know, we'll take what a Planet Racing ever was. You talk about a competitor.
Now we got a lot of stories, of course, to tell between Will Kegel, Gary Ballou. Action continues here tonight at the Orange County Fair Speedway, 64 laps old. We go back to work on the racetrack right now. Stuart Friesen to his lead. Oh, we've got yellow flag. One car out of control and one car up on the outside of turn number 1 right now. That is the 17 of Matt Janiak. The Halmar car is in trouble at the drop of the green flag. He is driving by himself on the inside of the backstretch straightaway. He may be pit bound in the 17 car. I think that may be the only car involved. As he stepped out of line down there and brought right back out the caution. Hey, looks like we got a 50-50 winner. All right, congratulations, $2,220. The winner has been claimed. All right, here we come. Back to green flag racing action. The field fan was on turn number 4 this time. Green flag flies on lap number 67. Hearn pressing Friesen again down the home straightaway. Friesen taking off on a turn number 2. 2.5, 3.5 car lengths the gap already between himself and Brett Hearn. Anthony Borrego is back there in the number 3 spot. LJ Lombardo has made his way up to the number 4 position, and Superman Shepard still rides back inside the top 5 running order. On a turn number 4 this time. Back in spot number 6 is then Jerry Higbee. Higbee is up to the number 6 spot in the M&H Tractor Company 97 car. Brian Crummell rides in spot number 7, and Tommy Myers dropped back to the number 8 spot. Then Tyler Boniface back there in spot number 9 right now aboard the Halmar number 69 car. Outstanding small block modified standout is Tyler Boniface, former sportsman champion of the Speedway. Running back inside the top 10. Right behind him is the 21 of Peter Brint, then the second 21 of Jan Boussier out of Drummondville, Quebec. Allison Rickey rides right behind him in the 55 car. Down the back straightaway they travel this time. Nobody steps out of line. On the top side of this 100-lap shootout here tonight at the Orange County Fair Speedway, 70% way home to a checkered flag, 71% this time. Top 2 drivers checking out. Big gap of space between spots number 2 and 3 who ramble down the back straightaway. Third spot is the number 44 car of Anthony Borrego, still riding inside the top 3 since the drop of the green flag. The field files on a 4 this time. On top of the heat continues to be the number 14 car of Stuart Friesen in the Crash Palace number 14 CG Mori-owned borrowed taxi cab. Supermat 5th, Jerry Higbee in the HigFab M&H Tractor Company 97 car. HigFab Fabrications, the choice of many race teams here in the Speedway. Jerry Higbee is the fabricator up at HigFab, a company that he founded many years back, and the choice of many racing teams for racing chassis here in the legendary House of Power. Top 2 drivers checking out down the back straightaway. Hearn is applying pressure now to the number 14 of Stewie Friesen. Hearn getting quicker down the straightaway that time. He draws him in on a turn number 4. Hearn looked off to the inside line that time. Hearn is driving the inside line. Stuart Friesen is center lining in. Hearn picking up some wind on the left side of that car that time. Down the back straightaway. Hearn tucks it back in line. We thought he might try and pull an inside hole shot from turn number 4. He tucked it in nice and low, much lower than Stuart Friesen's line of traffic was. 74 laps, 75 laps up on the whiteboard. We've got a 25-lap shootout to a $15,000 paycheck this Saturday evening here at the legendary House of Power. Well, here's where it gets exciting. Hearn is turning up the heat. Yellow, yellow, yellow in the Speedway. Something down in turn number 3. Going back down live downstairs to Mandy Pouch on pit road. Mandy.
Thanks, Tim. I spoke with Anthony Borrego's crew, and he said that the track is way too fast for them to be able to pit now. For them to be able to pit and come back through the field. So they're saying that right now that the caution laps are counting, it's helping them, so they just gotta save on their tires and make their move when it's time. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you very much, Mandy Pouch, live on pit road. Of course, Mandy Pouch, certainly well accustomed to the sport of stock car racing. Her brother, Billy Pouch Jr., her father is the legendary Billy Pouch Sr. from Frenchtown, New Jersey. Notorious for victory lane ceremonies, and Billy Pouch has been a winning driver in the tri-state region for many, many years, and he's been around a good long time. But Gary, I suppose you race with Billy Pouch, man, more than one occasion. Quickly, we're going back to green flag racing again. Here we come on a turn number 4 right now. Down the home straightaway. Hearn is applying pressure to Stuart Friesen aboard the number 14 car. Well, it's a difference between $5,000, $10,000 for second, $15,000 for third, and of course a whole lot more accolades. Perrego's in trouble. Anthony Perrego, we just heard from his pit area, and Perrego's car drops off the pace in turn number 3. Kid Gideon is in trouble at lap number 79. Point champ in the Speedway, tough break for Perrego out of this event. 20 laps earlier than he'd hoped to be. That, of course, moves Jerry Higbee into the number 5 spot. The M&H Tractor Company, HIGFAB, chassis number 97 car from Slate Hill, New York. Long-time name here at the Orange County Speedway. Higbee has always been a name synonymous with modified excitement. And young Jerry back there in the number 5 spot right now, carrying on. Just a notch ahead of Brian Crumble, who is 6th. Tommy Meyer is 7th. Tyler Boniface is 8th. 9th is Peter Britton. And 10th is Jan Boussier. Top 10 recap. After 81 laps of competition, we've only got 19 laps left to the 2018 running of the Eastern States 100 for small block modifieds. Field down the back straightaway again. Top 2 drivers with a big gap of space. Hearn with a big gap between 3rd place running LJ Lombardo with the Snap-on Tools 25 car. Out of 4, they travel this time. Since the addition of new plates to the Speedway, a new driving style has been demanded of these drivers, and instantly out of the box, we can remember that first Saturday night on the Speedway, when drivers learned that there's no more banking left in turn 1 and 2, they have to drive in that turn and race out. They can't race in on the banking like they used to. There's no more banking to hold them in. So driving in and racing out, and that is what these drivers are doing tonight. And Hearn is applying pressure again. Here's Hearn. Hearn on the inside. Hearn makes a move down the low. We've got a drag race for spot number 1. Here he comes on a turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, the drag race is on for spot number 1. Friesen rebounding and turning up the wick. Well, did Stuart Friesen have an extra couple of horsepower up his sleeve that he wasn't showing us? Because when Hearn reared the front side of that car, Friesen hit the loud pedal and went bye-bye. Trouble with Jimmy Phelps in the 99 car. Phelps is pulling into pit road as well in the JB Installations car. After 85 laps of competition, Phelps is on this event. Well, it looked like Hearn was applying pressure. Now, did Friesen have something up his sleeve that he wasn't showing, or was Hearn testing the waters for the last 10 laps out here tonight? It's a strategy we will not know until the final checkered flag flies out here. Watch the 2 drivers navigate down through 3 and 4. A little bit of air now between the top 2 drivers as they ramble down the straightaway. Friesen's on the top side right now in turn number 1. Hearn's right back there in spot number 2. And boy, that couple of inches of space they had now becomes about a 10 car length gap between spots 1 and 2. 15 more car lengths back is LJ Lombardo. Right there is Matt Shepard. Jerry Higbee is 5th. Brian Crumble is 6th. And Tommy Meyer is 7th. Tyler Boniface is 8th. Peter Britton 9th. And Jan Boussier in spot number 10. Well, it comes down to the closing laps of this classic battle for the 100-lap championship. Down the back straightaway. Looks like possibly Michael Sandia dropping off the pace in the number 7 car. 1 car is slowing on the back straightaway. He will safely get off the racetrack and not bring up the yellow flag. Leaders filing on a turn number 4 this time. Here is the 14 of Stuart Friesen. 89 laps, 11 laps to go. Hearn is 2nd, Lombardo 3rd, Matt Shepard is 4th, Higbee 5th, Crumble is 6th, Meyer is 7th. 8th spot is now Boniface. 9th is Britton, 10th is Boussier. Benetti is 11th, Allison Rickey is 12th. Kenny Tremont is back in the racetrack in spot number 13. Then Brett Haas in spot number 14. Gary Edwards is 15th in the lineup. Mark Johnson running in 16th right now. And 17th is Matt Janiak, unofficially back out of the Speedway. We're not sure how many laps he may have lost in the pit area. Final stages of the 2018 running with just 10 laps left in the Eastern States 100 for small block modifieds. Well, if Hearn has got anything for Stuart Friesen, he better throw it on the table right now. But I would think right about now is when he would have wanted to start making his move. And Hearn is not closing the gap. Now, one thing that may tighten it up a little bit, Friesen is now on the backside of a back marker, about to put a car lap down. We'll see who that car is this time. It is the 69 of Randy Green, and the one of Tyler Dimple about to do a lap down to the leader. And this could bunch things up. This could be the old lang syne for Brett Hearn. Can he close that gap back there as Friesen is getting held up by the Tyler Dimple race car? Watch him down through 3 and 4 right now. Friesen wants to make a move. Does he make it on the inside? Does he make it on the outside? Friesen puts a nose down to the inside that time. That's a dangerous place for a leader to try and make a move in a lap car. Yellow, yellow, yellow in the speedway. Trouble down in turn 1. Joe Benetti in the 20B car brings out the caution as he comes to a halt down between 1 and 2. He drives away. Gary, you're watching this event. We saw Hearn drive up to Friesen's car, and all of a sudden, Friesen, like he was shot from a cannon, made about a 10-car length gap. What do you think's going on? Does Friesen have something for Hearn, or does Hearn have something for Friesen?
That was the best gave cat and mouse. They both were conservative on tires. They Stewart just rode. Get real Brett in so we could see what he had. And Brett picked up the thing, show him what he had, and Stewart drove off. So, I mean, it's just cat and mouse. Now the conscious about changing a little bit here, paint or whatever it is, but Stewart's always got a bunch of
And I think the cat's one notch ahead of the mouse right now as Friesen playing the cat game and Hearn playing the mouse role.
Well, you know, Brett sat back there and rode on about 3 runs ago. Stewart sat Brett. They just drive long. And Brett saved what he saved. That was his best run. I mean, he let him run to him to see what he had and he drove off.
Be interesting to take a look at the right rear tire on both of those cars and see who's got the most tread left. And can you drive over a dime and tell what year it is, or do you have enough left for another couple of laps? Hearn typically has some more left. And while on the drop of the green flag, LJ Lombardo has slung shot past the 20 of Brett Hearn. LJ Lombardo from Danbury, Connecticut, now in the number 2 spot. Did he catch Hearn sleeping? Did he have that motive in mind at the drop of the green flag to press Hearn for the number 2 spot? New second place rider is LJ Lombardo with the Snap-on Tools number 25 car. Hearn third, Higbee is fourth now. Higbee up in the number 4 spot aboard the number 97 car. Yellow, yellow, yellow in the speedway. Seven laps left. Now we got to ask the question, does LJ Lombardo have something for Stewart Friesen? Boy, I'll tell you, the young kid from Danbury been doing pretty good in that on the Snap-on Tools car, and all of a sudden he walked past Hearn in the last restart, and I don't know, Gary, what do you think's going to happen now? 7 more laps. Does the guy from Connecticut have something for the Springer's hot shoe? Well,
it'll be a drag race in the corner, but I'm going to say that we get to the middle of the corner, Stewart will be leading the race up off too.
Hey, quickly, you were brought on to the Halmar Racing team a season or 2 back by Chris Larson to act as a speed consultant. Now, was that kind of difficult for you as you had quite a many years of retirement out of a race car? Can you still apply some of the old day principles to modern day stock car racing?
Oh yeah, you know, Chad, he tries, but I stayed up on top of all that. I mean, it's not like I just quit thinking about it and work at it. And learned a lot about aero and aerodynamics. And so yeah, I mean, you can bring a lot of that to it, and we've done some of that. There's some stuff we want to try to make it better.
They often say the name of the game is just to be able to keep your driver calm. And the term of a good spotter is just to be able to kind of finesse the race within his hands and within the earpiece to try and keep the driver as calm as possible, not get him excited out there to do anything crazy or stupid and have it result in a caution. So you must have something in mind out there for the Halmar drivers, because you've been a great speed consultant to the entire Halmar race team.
Here we go.
All right, caution light's been turned out, set to go back to green flag competition next time around. The Orange County Pace Truck with Buck Morrow on the controls of that beautiful Chevrolet Pace Truck. We'll take him one more time around. We have got just 7 more laps left in the 2018 running of the Eastern States 100 for small block modifieds. This is the Orange County Fair Speedway in Middletown, New York for the 57th annual Eastern States Racing Festival. Boy, 7 laps. Caution laps do not count inside the last 10 laps of this historic event. So these last 10 laps must be run under the powers of the green flag. Less than the distance of a Saturday night heat here at the Orange County Speedway. It is going to be so exciting to watch the line that LJ Lombardo takes when the drop of the green flag happens this time, because Lombardo got to have a good feeling beneath the wheels of that car right now to see the stride he made past Brett Hearn a lap or 2 ago. Lombardo in the Snap-on Tools car 22-year-old driver, a diesel mechanic, LJ Lombardo with a Teal chassis hot rod. Here he comes on a turn number 4. They race up to the number 1 spot this time, and Hearn tries to rebound back to the inside. Friesen took off, and Hearn got by Lombardo that time. Well, now, does Hearn have something up his sleeve? Down the back straightaway, it looks like Higbee may have stepped up out of the groove that time and has lost a spot or 2 to the lineup as well. Watch him as they come out of turn number 4 this time, 6 more laps left. Friesen shows the way. Here comes Hearn. Hearn didn't have something for him. Hearn's going to throw all the cards on the table right now. Lombardo is 3rd. Matt Shepard is 4th. 5th is Brian Crummell. Down the back straightaway they travel this time. 6th is Tommy Meyer. 7th is Jerry Higbee. 8th is Peter Britton. On a turn number 4, we come up on 5 laps to go. 5 to go right now. Here's where you pull out all the stops. We've seen this race led and won on the last quarter of a lap. Tyler Boniface is in trouble. He takes the Halmar 69 car down to the short chute, does not bring out the caution. A tip of the hat to him and a pat on the back and a shake of the hand for not bringing out the caution so close to the end of this event. Here they are down the straightaway. 98 laps, working on the lap counter right now. And Friesen has a lot in a bound ride. Boy, I'll tell you what, even Stewie's got to be surprised at the amount of horsepower behind the CG Mori car. Matt Janiak is dropping off the pace. He's going down behind pit wall. Here they come on a turn number 4 this time. And Stuart Friesen on the Sprinklers New York holds on to the number 1 spot. We've got 3 more laps left in this classic battle. Hearn's back there in spot number 2 right now. Then LJ Lombardo is 3rd. Super Matt Shepard right there in spot number 4. Brian Crummell is 5th as we travel down the back straightaway. Tommy Meyer 6th. Jerry Higbee is 7th. Peter Britton is 8th right now. Coming up on 2 laps to go. 2 to go this time by. Here they are. Down the turn number 1. Top 2 drivers navigate. 5th is Crummell. 6th is Meyer. Higbee 7th. Britton is 8th. 9th is Allison Rickey. 10th is Mark Johnson. 11th is who's here. And 12th is the 115 car, Kenny Tremont. The white flag will fly this time. 5/8 of a mile to a $15,000 paycheck here this Saturday evening at the beautiful Orange County Fair Speedway. On a bound taxi cab, he will take that car to a $15,000 Eastern States win. Ladies and gentlemen, the Halmar driver winning the $15,000 paycheck. The 2018 running of the Eastern States 100, it's Stewie Stuart Friesen. Brett Hearn will be 2nd. 3rd is going to be the number 25 of LJ Lombardo. Superman is 4th. Matt Shepard 4th. And Brian Crummell rounds out the top 5. We'll get some words of victory lane. Gary Ballou, thank you for stopping by with us. We couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Thank you. Do the best right there, buddy.
Well, of course, they got to go across the scales first. Tip the scales in the right direction. You can bet, of course, the tech area will be a buzz of activity long after this final checkered flag has been thrown here tonight at the Orange County Speedway.
Stuart Friesen, the Halmar driver out of Sprakers, New York, star of the Camping World Truck Series for NASCAR, back home on the dirt track of the Orange County Fair Speedway. Oh, on a borrowed ride this Saturday night here at the historic Oval in Middletown, New York. A car he never sat foot into, never drove this car until qualifying this afternoon, and he will have a $15,000 paycheck. Shows you the diversity and skill of a driver like Stuart Friesen to hop into a car that he had no idea how it was going to handle, and brings him out to the biggest win so far here at Eastern States. Now, he will be the only driver eligible for the extra $10,000 Halmar bonus. He's got to talk to us tomorrow after the conclusion of the 200 to get an extra $10,000. Can Stuart Friesen cop the first ever bonus from Halmar for a clean sweep since it's been instituted 3 years ago? Can Stuart Friesen make it a $65,000+ payoff this weekend? Well, he's already $15,000+ in the bank. As soon as we can get him out of the pit area and across the scales, we'll get him out here on the C.G. Morey Crash Palace ride. C.G. Morey, a 60-year-old driver from Rutland, Vermont, that heard that Stuart Friesen needed help this morning when the engine went sour on the 44 car. They knew they did not have time to change a motor. So C.G. Morey quickly came up to the benefit of Friesen, gave him the keys to the 14 car, and 100 laps later, he is in victory lane. Good run tonight. Again, second spot was Brad Hearn. Third, L.J. Lombardo. Fourth was Matt Shepard. And fifth was a 17 of Brian Crummell, the Zubies Racing number 17 Z car. Crummell comes home with a solid fifth place finish in this evening's 100 lap small block classic. Well, rumors are alive down here in start-finish line. Looky, looky on a turn number 4. The winner did not tip the scales in the right direction in the pit area. Stuart Friesen did not make weight after the checkered flag was thrown. The win for the second night in a row here at the Orange County Speedway goes to the second place finisher, Brad Hearn. Whoa. Disappointment abounds aboard the Halmar race team. The car came up light. It was a car that he was not accustomed to running. The driver himself may have been a couple of pounds lighter than the normal driver was. We don't know how much light he was, but when you're light, and there is no margin for error here at the Orange County Speedway. The win has been stripped from Stuart Friesen. The $15,000 paycheck will be made payable to Brett Hearn. Whoa. Hearn climbs from the cockpit of the Emring Associates number 20 car, the most winningest driver in the history of the Orange County Speedway. The corporate jet, the commander, Brett Hearn. Wow. Unexpected, to say the least. Disappointment aboard many fans and many drivers out here and many race teams as Friesen did not make weight. The Hearn fans, jubilant, celebrate in Victory Lane. They will party tonight on the 31st lap. Brett Hearn, wow is all we can say.
Well, all I can say is I've lost a couple like that. I feel bad for Stu. I mean, it's amazing he hopped into somebody else's car and came through and it ran that good. But, you know, in the end, it takes a little bit of homework to make sure you got enough weight in the car. And he wasn't off by much. So, you know, it's just one of those things. And I've been on the short end of that stick, and today I'm on the long end.
Now, were you behind him back there at the scale? Did you see what was happening in front of you?
Yeah, they have a procedure in place where they put the car up on the scale 3 times. And they did that for him. They did everything. The officials did everything totally right, and he just couldn't make the extra 11 pounds.
So at that point, you started jumping up and down inside the cockpit, right?
No, actually, I felt pretty bad for him because I've been in those shoes before.
You haven't in a race like this itself. Now tell us, once or twice in the latter part of the event, you pulled up alongside of Stuart Friesen. Who was it? Did you have something for him, or did he have something he was hiding?
Well, you know, I think just like last year when he caught me sleeping a little bit, he was lollygagging, and I got that big run on him on the back straightaway. I thought this might be the move, but I didn't quite get there. You know, I didn't quite get there, so we kind of regrouped a little bit. But a lot of that mid part of the race was, especially the early part, was making sure we had some right rear left, so that if we got the opportunity to make a run at the win, we could do it.
And again, after 100 laps of competition on an abrasive racetrack, your right rear tire makes you look like you can do another Saturday night feature.
Well, that's what you got to do, to have some tire left at the end of the race and make sure you have a car that's capable of winning the race. But like I said, we're a little bit lucky tonight, but we ran good. We started 7th. We made some good passes, and that could have easily been LJ Lombardo's race.
Any concerns at all for that event? How about that light race charge of LJ Lombardo?
I'm sorry?
Any concerns throughout the distance that they raced, and how about that late race charge by LJ Lombardo?
Well, you know, it could have, like, if it wasn't for that last restart, it could have easily been his race. And you know, the distance, of course, you're concerned about burning extra fuel, and then of course being light at the scales.
Well, again, half of it takes place back there in the pit area. It brought you up here to the first place tonight. The most winningest driver in the history of the Orange County Speedway. The only one eligible again for the Halmar bonus. It's yet to be claimed. Going to be yours this year.
Wow, I tell you what, we've been close the last couple of years. It's amazing this weekend what we've got here in Orange County, and I'm very excited to start the race tomorrow and see what happens. And hopefully my luck continues.
Well, get a good night's sleep tonight, because Halmar is ready for that $10,000 bonus. It's been sitting in the bank for 3 years. They'd like to put your name on that check tomorrow.
I just can't say enough about what they've done for this place, and putting those bonuses up, and all my sponsors, Batson Motorsports, all my guys that have worked really hard on all these cars here ready for the weekend. We've had some disappointing weeks leading up to this, so this will take the sting off it a little bit.
Brett Hearn, welcome back to your most favorite place on earth, the winner of the 2018 Eastern States 100.